When it comes to gas prices in the US, 2026 has been feeling much like the new 2022 due to those rising costs. But when I leaf through global statistics regarding gas prices around the world, there was at least some reasons to see as if it was somewhat of a relief, because here are the top 10 countries with the most expensive gas prices, which this list will not include the United States. But also, the US is not even part of the bottom 10 where these countries have the cheapest prices. But anyway, with that said, let's get the show on the road. Number 10, Greece. Expect to spend about $8.95 per gallon or $2.36 per liter when you fill up your fuel tank in Greece, because there, gas prices are driven by a range between 60 to 75% excise tax levied on the fuel and a 24% value-added tax on top of that, which has been the sum of the total gas price when you pump your gas in Greece. I tell you, it's not so cheap there. Number 9, Albania. The gas prices are driven by heavy taxation, market factors, and consumers relying on purified fuel imports. An average of 55% of the price consists of excise, carbon, relicensing, and VAT taxes, averaging the fuel price at about $9.05 a gallon or $2.39 a liter. Even if Albania has its own oil fields, it does not have the sufficient refining architecture. Thus, the imports are part of the reason for the higher prices of fuel. Number 8, Germany. On top of the heavy state taxes, Germans are paying $9.07 a gallon or $2.40 a liter to fill up gas tanks in their cars. On top of that, Germany is also facing crude oil supply shocks in the Middle East that make the inflations and gas prices surge compared to that in the United States. The blockade of the Strait of Hormuz have disrupted worldwide crude oil supplies, and since Germany is highly dependent on crude oil importation, that takes part in gas prices on top of heavy state taxes. Number 7, Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is economically and geographically aligned with Switzerland, where the prices are just $2.37 per gallon or 63 cents per liter, but nevertheless, in spite of that, Liechtenstein faces high taxes and relies on refined oil imports, as well as a high living standard, which breaks the economic ties with Switzerland in terms of gas prices. When you fill up your gas tank in Liechtenstein, expect to pay as much as $9.27 a gallon or $2.45 a liter. Number 6, Singapore. Heavy government taxations, stringent climate laws, and the lack of resistance to worldwide supply shocks contribute to the gas prices in Singapore being about $9.76 a gallon or $2.58 a liter. Excise and carbon taxes are used to dissuade vehicular ownership in an effort to emit less carbon. Fixed tax rates are much like a multiplier when it comes to fuel prices in Singapore, which happens to result in the effect of price spikes. Number 5, Netherlands. Another country that adds taxes to the gas prices. High excise taxes and value-added tax make up about 50% of the price of the fuel pumped into your tank. In fact, the Dutchmen get taxed the highest for fuel in the European Union, with approximately 21% of the value-added tax to be included. When you drive in the Netherlands, expect to pay as much as $9.91 a gallon or $2.62 a liter when you need to fill up your fuel tank. Number 4, Denmark. Heavy government taxation, the dependency on crude oil imports almost to the fullest extent, and policies mandating the reduction of emitting carbon and disincentivizing vehicles run on fuel. For those purposes, you'd be paying $10.03 a gallon or $2.65 a liter. Government taxes take up over half of the price of fuel at those Danish gas stations, and they are used to pool public architectures and to preserve strong public transportation systems and attaining environmental objectives. Number 3, Norway. Instead of the cost of supply or production, Norwegian gas prices are driven mainly by heavy government taxation. you'd be expected to spend about $10.37 a gallon or $2.74 a liter due to the policies designed to manage the consumer demand. Government taxations come from massive environmental and carbon taxes and are used for funding the welfare state and incentivizing green transit. Number 2, Malawi. Averaging about $10.83 a gallon or $2.86 a liter, this East African nation is absolutely dependent on oil imports, is very short-handed on international currency, and is facing worldwide supply shocks. Malawi lacks its own oil that it produces domestically, as it does not produce its own oil at all, hence the oil imports. The dollar shortages have urged importers to buy dollars from similar markets way above the rates from the official exchange rate, which has resulted in the skyrocketing cost to buy gas at regional ports. Alright, here comes the most expensive country yet. It'll definitely shock you in case you haven't heard. Number 1, Hong Kong. Ultimately holding the highest gas prices in the world, Hong Kong averages about $15.37 a gallon or $4.06 a liter from heavily depending on energy imports, rising expenses of worldwide supply, cost of astronomical operation, and policies advertently discouraging private vehicle ownership. Hong Kong clearly lacks any domestic oil reserves and local refineries. Thus, refined fuel must be imported and shipped from a long, long way from point A to point B, which results in the city being exposed to global supply chain shocks. Geopolitical conflicts like the Middle East tensions have put severe restrictions on supplying oil and caused global oil prices to skyrocket. So it occurs to me that the United States is just at $4.11 a gallon or $1.09 a liter on average at this time around, which I'm at least thrilled that that's nowhere adjacent to the top 10. Also, for more information on global gas prices, I have sent a link in the description below to the source with additional information you may be wondering about. Also, if anyone watching this video from my audience is from any of the aforementioned countries listed in this video, is there anything to add to what I've gone over throughout the video? Let me know in the comments, as I will personally be reading them. Anyway, for more content on the Master Rainy channel, feel free to subscribe, ring the bell, and turn on notifications, and then you'll hear about the release of the 95th video of the Master Rainy channel when it comes out. Thanks for watching. This is Master Rainy now, signing off. I will see you next time.